Hey guys, this will be the first featured match of Team Limitless. We have a Dragonic Overlord the end Kagero, which was Ryan's, and Dragoon's Mistress Hurricane liqueur build.
With the Pale Moons that I was actually running, it was kind of like it was kind of half liqueur and half Mistress Hurricane, just because as I was still building it at the time, so I didn't have the right cards at the time, so it's kind of, I was just testing stuff out. So in this build that I actually had, I was actually running Girl Across the Gap, but now I actually run the starting Vanguard that it's just Soul Charge 1.
So you Hades Ringmaster?
Yeah, Ringmaster. So, right,
so there we can see Dancing Princess of the Night Sky doing what she normally does, putting in a Crimson Straight to the Soul for the classic Pale Moon setup.
Yeah, me dropping a card like a boss.
As you do.
Yeah, as I do. Yeah, so this match was, I'd guess it was kind of short, really. I'd guess it was kind of short for normally the matches that we kind of do. Well, for me especially, because my matches always tend to be quite long, because I'm constantly...
It tends to get to the point where you deck out.
Yeah, I'm pretty much decking out all the time with every deck that I own, so I don't know if it's just my playstyle or if it's just the decks I run. I don't know, it might be a bit of both, really. But, yeah, then we got, Ryan doing this classic there.
Normally you should see about 3 grade 2s down on his field, but... Yeah. I think it's more of a slower paced hand for him. But normally, as per usual, the Conroe goes straight out for the bar.
Normally he's actually running the 10k boost now, so...
Yeah, I think he changed that recently to put in that one Flame of Promise.
Yeah, to search for the 10k boost behind the
end.
But
the bar behind the end is still good because of... Yeah. If you get the cross right, that's 21,000 swing, which forces 15 drop minimum for one trigger against Doty.
Yeah.
And those who have faced Doty really, you don't want to, unluckily you don't get the Mistress Hurricane skill there.
Yeah, to be honest, at this point I was thinking that it wasn't worth me pulling anything out just because I didn't really have much in the soul, and also I didn't even have enough Counterblast to do so anyway.
But you still get, even though you couldn't use Hurricane, you can still make up for it with Girl at this point.
Yeah.
Get a good 20k column against 10k Nahalem.
Yeah, so it's 10 power draw. And critical power.
Quite a nice start for the first twin drive. The only problem here is you are setting up a good target for a Kagero to retire the turquoise.
Yeah, but at that point I was just thinking I just need to put on as much early aggression as possible to try and make him drop.
But unfortunately for that, the heal trigger slowed that down. And as you can see, Ryan's got the Dragonic Overlord, so if he goes for the Doty, he will be at the 13k base.
Also, he drive checked a Doty earlier as well, so he's definitely got it in hand. There's Midnight Invader.
And as we all know, he likes flashing around his SP Doty.
Yes, we know that quite well. Which he does mention a lot throughout this video, but
So what's your reasoning for putting the draw trigger behind Vanguard?
I was hoping that it would hit so that I could soul charge one and then bounce the draw trigger back, so I've got more draw triggers in deck, so I've got more, so that later on I can have more hand advantage when needed. But he kept dropping 10 for 2 triggers, which was kind of pissing me off because I couldn't.
Because unfortunately you were only swinging for 14 against an 11 base.
Exactly, and I knew that if I did get a trigger, I'd probably put it onto Crimson or Midnight Invader. So
you're in a good place damage wise. It's 2 to 4, but unfortunately he has got the Doty ride.
Really, at this point, I had the field presence, but he kind of had the damage to retire a lot of my stuff, and also
he had the counterblast utility to be able to remove the field presence as well as take advantage of Doty.
Yeah, exactly. So
21 straight at Vanguard, as we were saying earlier. That 21 swing. A nice critical puts all effects to Doty, which will then reveal that he has the Persona Blast.
Yeah,
which makes me wonder why you hesitated as to put your power on Vanguard.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because I thought that he might have tried to swing it later on, may have swung at some Rhaegars, but if you actually kind of take a look at my hand, I actually didn't really have anything to put down. I had mostly triggers, so I was thinking that if I did put triggers onto my Rhaegars, that perhaps I could protect them later and they might serve me later on.
The only problem with that is Doty did have a crit.
Yeah, exactly. He critted me, which kind of...
And not only did he crit, but after the Persona Blast, he heals.
Yeah, which is a pain in the arse. It's throughout this whole game, Ryan was just healing all the time. So every time you get to like 4 or 5 damage, he just kept healing. And
you were drawing a lot.
I was drawing a lot, but he was healing a lot. So it's kind of, you know, which was better, healing all the. I think the back. But actually,
unfortunately, with your field, your Turquoise and your Midnight Invader just can't seem to reach each other.
No. Mistress Hurricane again, and I did actually use her skill, and this is when I brought out Princess of the Night Sky to Cat Blast 1 to pop another Crimson into the soul, and then
in case you wanted to pull it out later.
Which I did actually, because I then placed a Trapezist on the field and switched her out with Crimson.
Purple Trapezist is a very good card for Pale Moon, allowing to put another non-purple unit into the soul to pull something else out, allowing to do column switches or just set up for the better numbers.
Oh yeah, it's helped me out a lot in a lot of games, especially when we've been in Hobby League. And you know, as you said, it's if you've got not a too great column, you can just switch it out and pull something else out. Which is normally when I always play School Juggler, I always for some reason will get Midnight Invader into the soul. So this just tends to give me room to switch stuff out from what I need and what I don't need. So yeah, it's a pretty good card. The only downside is that it can't switch itself in, which is kind of horrible at sometimes, because sometimes you've got you might have 2 on the field, and
there's Ryan going for the 2 triggers.
And I think
at this point you do risk it.
Yeah, and I do get it as well. Yeah,
you do get it, but unfortunately it does only put him to 5 damage.
Yeah, if I did double crit him, then that would have got my game. But the odds of that happening are quite slim.
But you did still get a draw out of it, which is nothing too bad. Now at this point you decide to try and weaken down the field.
Which again didn't really matter to Ryan at the moment, because he had quite a massive hand advantage anyway. So you're just like
the Doty Persona Blast will add so much to the hand.
Exactly.
Because even though you're ditching WOD card from hand, you are twin driving again. Yeah. And then the fact that Doty himself is swinging for 21, which is a very, very horrible number to see, especially for a non-cross-ride deck such as yours.
It makes it at the moment it makes it worse because he's running the 10k boost, so it's.
If he does have that out, not even cross rides are safe.
Yeah, again, it's horrible because that 30k base screws up.
See, the good thing about a 13k base is putting 8k vanilla behind it. That's 21, so it's very aggressive. And the 13 itself it means that your opponent is going to have something like a 10k vanilla and an 8k vanilla behind it just to get a 10 drop. So not only is it aggressive because of the numbers it hits for, but it's very, very defensive because of the numbers needed to hit it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like there, even though you're swinging with your Vanguard, he just has to drop 1 card to say 2 triggers.
And I mean, the chances are of me going all effects to Vanguard are very slim unless I'm, desperate.
Especially with the trigger number you've already hit at this point in time.
Yeah, exactly. I've already hit quite a lot of triggers anyway, so the chances of me getting double trigger were quite slim at the time. And plus,
again at this point, you're trying to weaken down the field, but like you say, because of the hand he has, it's nothing to really worry about.
Yeah, he's just letting it die because he knows he can just restock his field. So
what was going through your head at this point in the game?
Shit, pretty much. At the moment, I was trying to think, right, if I could survive, then if I could try to take out his field, or at least get him to drop for his field. But
Burning Horn, very, very good card. Especially as he just got the extra bar. If anything happens to his field, it's an easy 20k column. I don't think you quite managed to hit the 11k base Hurricane, did you?
No, I didn't. It's as I said before.
Even with this Big League Bear that you just played.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Big League Bear is a new card from set 5 that when it moves from the Guardian Circle to the drop zone, it allows you to Soul Charge 2, which makes Hurricane makes the 11k base in the Soul that the Pale Moon can use very good and very, very possible to achieve, because I know you achieve it very often in the current build you're using.
Yeah, I do get the 11k base. But it's, at this point, I wasn't hitting the 11k base because obviously the deck was still kind of being built at the time. It was kind of, I was testing stuff out, but yeah.
Unfortunately, against this field, the 11k base wouldn't make a difference, but it's against I believe it's the next turn when it happens that the Burning Horn's dropped, and that's when it actually makes a difference.
Yeah, because this is where I swung it, is Rear Guard, and you went, Burning Horn, and I was like...
Opening the slot for the Burning Horn straight there.
That's it, yeah. I was like, shit.
And this is where the full aggression at the Vanguard will go straight through. At this point, all you can do is, I think you do 1 trigger.
and I think he does actually hit it. I think it's a heel trigger. Yeah, it was a heel trigger.
I believe he also has a Doty in hand, so even if you were to hit a heel trigger, you can just restand Doty. He still had the 20k column standing, which would, depending on if you put the power on Vanguard or power on Rearguard, you're either having an 18 and a 20 or just a straight 25, and you only had 2 cards in hand at the point, or was it 1?
At that time, I had 1 card, and I think that card was a grade 3 anyway. So I was like, I'm not surviving this. So yeah.
Overall, very, very good game. It was just unfortunate towards the end that I believe you only had about 5Ks in hand. You couldn't quite keep against the aggression because, like we say, the Overlord numbers are very, very strong, and then the Persona Blast itself allowing you to restand the Vanguard and get an extra twin drive. Even though you lose 1 card but gain 2, and if you hit draw triggers, that's even more.
Definitely. But yeah, the match was pretty good. It's just, I think the 30k base was really screwing me over.
It's a very, very helpful thing to have, because I've noticed that with the Phantom Blaster Overlord build that I run. The 13k base, it means that your opponent's less likely to hit the 10 drops. You can just throw out an intercept. You can just drop 1 card from hand against a Vanguard that's 2 triggers.
Yeah. I think the only way that you could really get around it is if you go early game aggression, or if they don't actually hit the cross right would be pretty much.
The only problem with that is, unlike, I know Kagero don't have this, for instance, but the Shadow Paladins, even if they miss the dragon, they can just use a Nightmare Painter to put the dragon into soul anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty much a pain. But anyways, yeah, that was our commentary on Pale Moon's versus Kagero. So I hope you guys enjoyed our video and our commentary. Hopefully we'll be doing more videos soon. It's just us getting around to recording stuff, and but hopefully you should see some more future matches from us soon. Don't forget to check out our deck profiles and everything else. Koirachi, you got anything else left to say as a closing comment?
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Hopefully see you again.
Yeah, well, latest guys. Bye.
So I think me and Jack are swapping trigger lineups now.
I'm going to go with a more consistent trigger lineup then.
Fangirls activate.
Yeah!